need kind of a certain age to have problems with dry eye. We live in the desert. Well, Dr. Dave Freeman is here from the Reno Eye Institute to talk about the symptoms and the solutions. Does it have to do with the climate like that? Is it the climate or is that my imagination?
No, absolutely. Like you said, we live in the high desert and it affects everyone around here from young to old. I see people in my chair every single day, from teenagers to people in their 90s who deal with this problem. So it's a big issue.
Okay, so how do you know that you need to go see a professional for it and your eyes just aren't kind of bothering you?
There are many different symptoms for dry eye. The several things I look for: redness, irritation, grittiness, a feeling like there's sand in your eyeball. Dry eye syndrome can affect how we see. It can make things fluctuate as far as how clear your vision is throughout the day. And just a feeling like my eyes aren't right, or they're tired, or, like I said, misery.
And gritty, but I guess one of the things that surprises me is if you have problems with dry eye, you tear a lot, so which seems counterintuitive.
It does, and there are many different causes of tearing inside the eye, one of which being if an eyelash is pointed the wrong direction, that can cause tearing. If you have a plugged up tear duct, our tear ducts are located in our eyelids and they drain tears into our nose. But a little more commonly is if they're dry. So how does that make sense? Well, there's a reflex loop inside of the eye. If your eyes feel that they're dry, sometimes they overcompensate, so they'll make more tears on the outside of the eye.
It just seems so odd. Then it seems like you'd have enough tears. Why doesn't it balance itself out?
It's counterintuitive, like you said.
Yeah. So to know what kind of eye drops to use, I mean, I'm sure you don't just put water in there. Use saline or something like that?
Not necessarily. There are many, again, different causes of dry eye. Sometimes, well, let me describe why dry eye is caused in the first place. Sometimes it's a dysfunction of how many tears you're putting on the eye, how much water your eye is producing. There's also an oil layer that's produced by oil glands inside the eyelids that help trap water on the surface of the eye. And there's also mucus that's produced inside of the eye. And all three of these components help us have a healthy tear film on the outside of the eye. If one of those layers is disrupted, then we can suffer from things like dry eye. And there's other things as well. Medications we take, things for high blood pressure, systemic diseases. If you have thyroid disease, that can cause dry eye. And again, the environment we live in here in northern Nevada can all lead up to this constellation of dry eye. Exactly.
So what kind of treatments are there?
So I usually start conservatively. There are many over-the-counter remedies that you see in any pharmacy or supermarket, namely artificial tears. You mentioned saline, but the artificial tear products are a little better. They stick to the eye better, they help lubricate better. Normal saline is basically water that you're putting on the eye.
Okay.
There are more aggressive treatments as well, medications that can help your eyes produce more tears. And even more aggressively, something we do in the office almost every day, we can put little teeny tiny little plugs in the tear ducts to help the eyes retain more of the tears that they produce.
Oh, so there's a number of ways to treat it then, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not one size fits all. You have to have an eye exam to figure why the dry eye is being created and how to best combat it.
Okay, so if we need help with it, we know where to come, right? Over to the Reno Eye Institute, right?
That's right.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dave Freeman with the Reno Eye Institute.